Thanks so much for being with us here on Atlanta News First Plus. I'm Joy Limnacker, and taking a look at some of the top stories that we're following right now. A deadly fire is being investigated in Decatur and DeKalb County right now. Let me show you some footage captured from the scene by our crews. What we've learned is that one man has died after being pulled from a burning apartment in DeKalb County. Atlanta News First Asia Wilson reports from the Snapwoods Apartments on Snapfinger Woods Drive with what we know so far.
DeKalb County fire officials believe the man was in his 60s and was at home alone at the time when the fire started. They say they got the call around 1:40 this morning, and when they got here, they found out that he was trapped inside. Once they got inside, they found him in a laundry room. They said it looked like he attempted to rescue himself, but later died from his injuries at the hospital.
We all was just standing right there. It happened so quick. We all were just standing around making sure he was okay, because once we seen who he was, like, that's a nice guy. He'll walk to the store. He did construction. That's why I say he wasn't disabled or none of that. He did construction.
Now, again, officials believe that the fire could have started in the bedroom. They're still investigating the cause of the fire at this time. They also say other apartments have been impacted, 4 families to be exact. They have experienced smoke and water damage to their apartments, and Red Cross is assisting some of those families as well. Again, right now, the cause of the fire is still being investigated, and the man involved in this fire has not been identified. In DeKalb County, Asia Wilson, Atlanta News First.
Thanks so much to Asia for that report. Also making headlines right now, the YSL trial. Once again, we're learning who will decide whether the original judge in this case will stay on. So now Fulton County Superior Court Judge Rachel Krause will determine if her colleague, Chief Superior Court Judge Earl Glanville, will stay on the case. Judge Glanville put the trial on an indefinite hold after the defense accused him of overseeing an improper meeting favoring the prosecution. Judge Krause will now review and rule on the motions to recuse or remove Judge Glanville from this case. We're going to keep following all the latest developments there. Okay, let's talk about the issue of water main breaks here in the city of Atlanta. Obviously, it's something that many residents have dealt with, and a lot of concerns are being raised about the frequency of these water main breaks, the number of these water main breaks in the city. In fact, some see this as a potentially crippling problem in Atlanta. Atlanta News First reporter Rebecca Schramm is at City Hall in downtown Atlanta, where today Atlanta City Council members are planning to tackle this issue.
The public is invited to attend this morning's special work session. They're planning to discuss some potential solutions to Atlanta's ongoing water crisis. Let's take you back to May 31st in Midtown. A major break in a water main caused serious disruptions for several days, which of course caused a lot of businesses to lose money. Now, as we've reported, the city is already taking steps to try to help those business owners financially. Take a look at this map. That was one of 4 major underground pipe breaks in the city in recent weeks. This has been a wake-up call for city leaders that it might be time to speed up efforts to replace the city's aging water infrastructure. So today, council members plan to hear from watershed officials about what's next in this massive effort.
We really play whack-a-mole when it comes to repairs or trying to figure out what might pop or break. And we really don't have a good sense of that because our system was developed as the city grew.
Today's work session is scheduled for 11:30 this morning inside City Council chambers. We will let you know what comes out of it. In downtown Atlanta at City Hall, Rebecca Schramm, Atlanta News First.
All right, we're going to keep following the latest there. As that meeting happens, we'll let you know the outcome of that. All right, also you have the chance now to weigh in on the state's plan to add toll lanes to Interstate 285. A new proposal from the Georgia Department of Transportation would add express lanes at the top end of the perimeter, and that would all be in the hopes of alleviating the congestion, of course. The plan claims that the lanes would reduce travel times by 39% for those who use them. It would operate like the existing express lanes on I-75 and I-85, where drivers need a peach pass to access them, but you have until July 29th to submit your thoughts on that. All right, let's talk about the weather outside. First Alert meteorologist Rodney Harris joining us, and 80 degrees at 10:05 in the morning. It seems like, maybe that's just summertime. I'm not sure.
That's basically it, Joy. It is summertime. Pretty typical summer day across Metro Atlanta. I'll actually point out here, Joy, as you can see, there's a lot of clouds out there this morning. And like yesterday, these clouds are good because they sort of slow down the warming process. So highs will be in the low 90s this afternoon, very similar to what we saw yesterday. But it's not as hot as it possibly could be because of those clouds, which are basically like a blanket, and they prevent us from being able, they're kind of blocking the sun, basically. So that actually helps us. We like it when there's clouds this time of the year because it's not going to be quite as hot. It's still super muggy, though, so definitely feeling that. And you already know that because a lot of you have already gotten out to work this morning. Here we go. I'm First Alert meteorologist Rodney Harris. Hope everybody's having a good Tuesday so far. We have some good changes in your forecast here taking you through the rest of the week, so let's walk you through that. Starting with today. Today will be very similar to what we saw yesterday in terms of your forecast here. Highs are back into the low 90s again. Right now it's 80 degrees in Atlanta, as Joy mentioned. We are sitting at 77 in Griffin, 77 in Thomaston, 72 in LJ. You're already up to 83 degrees in Gainesville. So here's what you can expect later on this afternoon. Again, 91 in Atlanta, right about average for this time of year. We're normally at 90. I do want to point out that even though we are near normal today, the heat index will still be an issue. We still have a heat advisory that's in effect. This is south and east of Atlanta. It does include Rockdale County, Newton County, Henry County, Spalding County, and all of East Georgia. It essentially means heat index temperatures of 105 plus are expected today. And we've had these heat advisories, different variations of them over the past week. So just remember to stay in the shade if you're going to be outdoors for a long period of time, and try to drink plenty of water. So here is the story this week. We have what's left of Beryl, and the last advisory on Beryl was issued Monday night. So now it's losing its tropical characteristics. But as you know, the wind flows counterclockwise around areas of low pressure. So Beryl is still west of us right now, which means that our winds are coming out of the south, and that's helping to bring in that Gulf of Mexico moisture, that tropical moisture that's helped to give us rain over the past several days. That will be the case again today. So we do have some spotty storms in your forecast again this afternoon, mainly after 3 p.m. The coverage is only at like 30%, so it's not a washout, but because there's so much moisture in place, there will be some spotty storms out there. Here's the thing. As Beryl moves north and east tomorrow, our winds are going to switch. Remember, the winds are still flowing counterclockwise around the low, but with it north and east of us on Wednesday, our winds are going to switch around from the north, and that's super important because it'll bring some drier air into North Georgia for the end of the week. Now, when we say drier air, it's relative. It's not like wintertime like dry air, but it's definitely going to feel better at the end of the week compared to what we have seen over the past several days. So here's your comfort forecast. Today's still super humid. Tomorrow, it's still super humid. Tomorrow is when our winds are shifting, and it's not going to be like instant. So it'll take a little time after the wind shift for us to actually get that dry air in. I believe that by Thursday morning when you get out the door, that's when you'll notice that lower humidity. Lows probably dropping into the 60s for much of Metro Atlanta on Thursday morning to represent that drier air. And it'll stay relatively dry on Friday as well. So still humid today, humid on Wednesday, but feeling better by Thursday and Friday. And this time of year, it's very short-lived. We're not going to see that humidity stay low for too long. By the weekend, the moisture is back. Here's a look at the high-resolution forecast model for today. I was talking about the potential for more pop-up storms with the coverage of 30%. Again, this is mainly after 3 o'clock, and it's just like yesterday. These storms will be moving from south to north, so watch out for that as you drive home from work or if you're headed out to dinner. No reason to cancel your plans, but know that that activity will be out there later on today. There's the heat advisory I was telling you about. This starts at 11 o'clock in the morning, and it'll go until 8 o'clock this evening. It does include Troup County, Meriwether County, Lamar Pike, Upson, Spalding, Henry, Butts, Putnam, Jasper, Newton counties, and everybody in East Georgia. The heat advisory does not include the city of Atlanta. It does not include DeKalb County, Gwinnett County, or Cobb counties, but it will still be super humid out there today, so keep that in mind if you have any plans. There is a look at Tropical Depression Beryl. You can see the center of Beryl is still over Arkansas. You're not going to see any more new information on the stats because, again, the last advisory was issued last night. Now that it's no longer tropical, it's basically an area of low pressure now that'll track through the Midwest. Our rain chances are going to shut off here for the next several days. So I hope you got some rain earlier this week. I know a lot of you were looking for some rain, especially if you have a farm, you're needing those plants watered there. So hopefully you got some rain, because today, 30% chance, then after today, it's dry for the rest of the week and probably dry for much of the weekend. We'll keep you up to date on this forecast. We'll end up with an update on Atlanta News First at noon, and always in the First Alert Weather app. We hope you guys have an amazing Tuesday. And until next time, we'll see you soon.